Mr. Speaker.
Maria Meno Kapakingi.
Kia ora. Gee, Mr. Speaker, tēnā koe, tēnā tātou te whare. I wanted to jump up several times, and so I appreciate the opportunity to take this call, as you might have heard in some of the discussion earlier. Just a teaching moment, if I can, to say this: prejudice plus power. Prejudice plus power equals racism. Prejudice plus power equals racism, which equals arrogance, which equals ignorance. And I want to start my discussion with those as teaching moments for the House, actually, because when I listen to this, particularly the nonsense on my left, it boggles me just how deep ignorance and racism can run. And it's so casual, the racism that I often feel on the left. But I'm going to start like this. When my tupuna traversed Te Māori arriving in Aotearoa, they brought with them tikanga, the sovereign legal system of our whenua. So there'll be Māori words, they're mixed with Pākehā words that I'm not sure everyone will appreciate those, but they brought the sovereign legal system of our whenua. This system served our people for nearly a millennium prior to European arrival. It is no mistake that in 2022, the Supreme Court affirmed that tikanga Māori is the first law of this land. The first law of this land. Now, I mean, obviously I don't need a Supreme Court to confirm that, what I've always known to be true, but that affirmation is an absolute necessity for the members of this Parliament who now question the status of tikanga Māori and its place in curriculum. If Parliament's own institutions can recognise the status of tikanga Māori, there's a little bit of fuss of that going on at the moment, particularly through Privileges Committee, then it should follow as a matter of simple logic that its subjects do the same. It is critical that we ensure our law curriculum reflects and aligns consistently with the Supreme Court's recognition of tikanga Māori as the first law of this land, of our land, of your land, stolen or otherwise. While it would be consistent for the coalition government to ignore evidence and expert opinion, I implore my cohort across the ways to actually consider evidence in their debate this time around. Tikanga Māori, and Mr. Speaker, I was hearing it expressed in a number of ways, and particularly just across in the corner there. And if only there was some points in there which I could even connect with up until this expression that tikanga isn't, it isn't really a thing. It might be a nice, attachment. It might have some good value as a cosmetic, but it has no fundamental use. And what that most definitely tells me, that is the level of ignorance, probably maybe by choice, I'm not sure, but nevertheless, it's so fundamentally ignorant. And therefore, when you've got that deep level of ignorance, you have what is called an already always listening. You have an already always listening. Therefore, you can't help where you land, because your ignorance is so fundamental, you're going to land at the place that you're always going to, which is without real understanding and knowing. And I picked it up also in the debate when Te Reo Māori was being used, because without understanding those things, or some understanding or appreciation or respect and knowledge of it, you were also lost. You are lost to the ignorance that you carry quite comfortably, because it keeps you comfortable. Where to now? Tikanga Māori is the pathway to justice. It is a leading solution to the injustice and inequity that is embedded into the colonial structures imposed upon our whenua. There is no denying that the facts our criminal justice system is institutionally racist and fundamentally unfit for purposes in Aotearoa. Māori suffer unequal outcomes at every turn. We are more likely to be stopped, to be searched, I think I heard this expression the other day, charged with DWB, driving while brown. Those things are real, and I want to note them in this particular. Arrested and convicted that any other group in Aotearoa. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a bit of nonsense going over here, so I might ask him to take a break. Though we make at just 20% of the population, Mr. Speaker, we represent 37% of those proceeded against by police, 45% of all people convicted, and 52% of the prison population. So with all of those numbers, driving while brown is a thing. If we accept the facts, if we know that Māori disproportionately pass through the judicial system, then it becomes essential that those trained to operate within that system, our lawyers, are equipped with an understanding of tikanga Māori. Without such training, our systems will continue to oppress and our people and exacerbate the reality that Māori are one of the most incarcerated peoples in the world. That isn't an accident, that is deliberate, and that is all what I've shared before, particularly to the one on the left. Don't know whether he's listening. At the very least, lawyers trained in tikanga will be better practitioners, attuned to the needs of the people without the shackles that come from operating within a legal framework that has enforced its own version of what is tika since its arrival in this country. To label this and the teaching of tikanga Māori into law as cultural indoctrination is hypocritical. It is a disservice to all those who have endured the cultural indoctrination of the current law curriculum, if that's the way we want to be viewing education. It is a limited way of thinking, it's backwards, and it's bad for our health, Joseph. It is bad for our health. So I just want to say thank goodness for our mokopuna that are coming. Speak. I look forward to it from both sides of the house, because they will be woke, they will be smart, they will be ready, and they will correct all of the nonsense that's been imposed and driven to this current government's mindset, which is Māori are bad. Lock them up. Put them, and here's the housing. Okay, this is our housing. This is the government's housing policy. Look, we've got 200 more beds, but that's our housing policy. And their houses, they've just got bars on the windows. If that's your policy, if that's how you see us, you will suffer for your decisions. And thank goodness for your mokopunaus that will correct all this nutty, divisive, crazy, racist behaviour. So, buckle up, tātou. Kia ora.